One of the main issues that the world is still facing today is domestic violence. Many of the previous and recent crimes in Tonga happen as a result of domestic violence. According to the Tonga Women and Children Crisis Center statistic report, violence that has been reported to them from 2009 to 2019, it shows that domestic violence is still increasing in a great number. This video will alert and let everyone, especially those who are involved in this affair, know that there are places and people where they can turn to and what to expect from that support. We will be talking to Fitilangi Fa'anunu of the Family Protection Legal Aid Center to find out the purpose of their service in relation to legal aid and how it benefits victims and survivors of domestic violence.
Okay, Fitilangi Fa'anunu. I'm the director for the Family Protection Legal Aid Center, and this center is a government initiative. The mandate of the center is to provide free legal advice and free legal representation to survivors of domestic violence and gender-based violence. So our mandate is governed by the Family Protection Act 2013, and the services are for everyone. So as long as you qualify as a victim of domestic violence or gender-based violence, whether you're male, female, whakaliti, or child, or one with disability, you can seek the legal assistance from the center. The project has done a pilot phase from the 26th of February until the 2018 until the 26th of February 2019. So the cabinet has now, the government of Tonga has endorsed the center to continue as a project. So this was just the pilot phase, 12 months. So now it will continue as a project for the next 3 years until government absorbs it under the Ministry of Justice, just to ensure the sustainability of the service.
So what does your organization specialize in?
As I mentioned briefly, our mandate or our specialty is to provide free legal assistance and free legal representation in court, including chambers, for survivors of domestic violence. That is the work that we do. But our work is not limited to, when I say our specialty, we assist the victims to apply for protection orders as the primary response for victims. So we apply to the court for protection orders, and then part of those orders is asking for maintenance if there are persons or people at risk because of economic abuse. So usually the children in this case.
And how does your organization handle special domestic violence cases?
So, like I mentioned, this is purely just legal assistance. So it's either we provide the legal advice in the office or we represent them in court. So once we make an application for protection order, for example, whether it's just a protection order or whether it's just a protection order on grounds of economic abuse, we go to court. Usually there may be a hearing in chamber. Chamber means the magistrate's or the judge's office. So those hearings, because it's a family matter, they're all confidential, or there's a lot of privacy that's required. So either we have a hearing in the magistrate or the judge's chamber, or there's an open court hearing, like this court here right next door, or the Supreme Court.
Do your victims achieve justice?
Achieving justice is not. I'll explain it this way. When you come, because it's a law office, it's no different from all the private other private practice. We have to prove our case. It's not like anybody will come and tell us a story. Oh, I was abused yesterday, and then we apply. We have to gather that information in the most clear cases where it's evident, where you see there's abuses or whatever, then you can say, yes, we take a photograph, make an application, attach that photograph, we go to court, we get the protection order, it's granted, and to that extent, yes, justice is done. But whether after the, like, a protection order, there's three types of protection orders. If you ask for an emergency protection order, it lasts for 28 days. After that time, the validity, the time that the protection order runs, and if the victim is still at risk, then you can ask to extend it for another 3 months. After 3 months is still at risk, that person is still at risk, you can ask to make it a final protection order until circumstances change. So whether the victims get justice, I would say yes. If you're being assisted legally through the justice system, yes. But where in clearest cases and you're not getting that court order that you want and that this person needs, then you can say justice is not done. Because it's not what you know, it's what you can prove to court. It's not what you think the truth is what you can prove to the court. So it's all evidence based.
So, do you feel that domestic violence survivors are being represented well in court in other legal areas?
I have to say yes. It's really great that government has come up with this initiative, because we, from our experience through the center so far, most victims of domestic violence or gender-based violence are those who are not financially able, or they're unemployed, and most are legally married and have separated and have lots of children to look after. So one of the reasons why government had decided to have this center was they found from a survey that was done sometime in 2017 that a lot of victims didn't go to court or seek legal assistance because they couldn't afford to. Because going to a private lawyer can be very costly and expensive. So yes, I think to answer your question, it's a simple yes.
How much can you stress on the importance of providing legal aid services to your clients?
It's very important. Like I said, people who can afford to go to court and get that protection through the protection orders that can assist or safeguard them, especially when it comes to children. It's very important that they are able to access court, and it's even we are fortunate that under the Family Protection Act, all matters related to that legislation, which is a specific legislation that addresses issues of domestic violence. Every application that we file for protection orders are free of charge. Unless you're going to a civil court or a criminal court, then there's a filing fee, court filing fee. But our assistance is free of charge. But if we are to go to civil or criminal courts, then we ask the client to bear those costs.
To conclude, for the people of Tonga who are suffering from any form of violence, there are laws that can protect and secure your life. That is the Family Protection Act. There are people and places who can assist to make sure that you know your right as a human being to live free of domestic violences. That is the Tonga Family Legal Aid and Counsel Center, the Women and Children Crisis Center, and many other authorities such as the police. No more hiding in the dark thinking that no one is going to help. The Family Protection Act and these non-government organizations with other relevant stakeholders from the government can give you the right to have a radiant lifestyle as you deserve. Stand out and make a difference to stop domestic violence and create a happy environment for Tonga. Stand out and make a difference to stop violence and create a happy environment for Tonga.
You're welcome. Well, I hope that the information that I've shared with you is helpful, but it's also you've gained some